Season 2 of Teenage Euthanasia premieres Wednesday, July 26th at midnight on Adult Swim, next day on Max. Prepare to party to the state of Florida's standards!
Hey, Alyson, how Alyssa?
Hi.
Should I say nice to meet you again?
I know. Yes. Very, very good to see you.
Good old San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So we're back to talk about so many different things, and congratulations on season 2 in general. It's got inclusion. I'm really hoping for at least 3 more seasons.
Yeah.
Us too.
But before I get into that, I just kind of wanted to jump back into kind of where I left off at San Diego. Kind of I didn't give me a lot of time there, but your origin stories there, and how you came to be as a team.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that fate was involved. I think kind of the old country like hag intuition is something that Baba relies on a lot in the show, and I would say that hag intuition brought Alyson and I together. I think just like weird vibrations will cross space and time to find each other. And we're a bi-coastal team. She's in New York, I'm in LA, but we are just both so freaking strange in a way that we understand about each other, that it was just impossible for us not to find one another. It's like one of like the National Treasure movies, or like a Nicolas Cage quest. Like it was just going to happen inevitably.
Yeah, and we're just like the right amount of like we have the opposite strengths, I think. Like I like to wake up early and Alissa likes to work late. So, even things like that, or just like I'm super buttoned up and Alyssa's a little more loosey-goosey. So like it's a good, I don't know, it's a very good partnership. And I don't know.
It seems like it's working. It's like, so I mean, two seasons in. Question for is just how do you guys determine what the cutoff point is per season, like as far as how many episodes you want to, because I'm sure there's a ton of stories on the table that you probably gonna fit in this, but how do you put a pen into each season and say, hey, we can save this for season 3 or 4?
It's hard to know. Sometimes certain episodes are just coming together quicker. We had a few this time that maybe we didn't like. I think we had drafts, but it was like, oh, this other one's going to be easier and like quicker, and had a couple things we wanted to get to. Or we do really think about like, oh, okay, these episodes have a lot of Trophy and Annie. We don't want that in every episode. That now let's put like Pete and Trophy together, or we've always wanted to do Baba and Annie. Like what like, so we think that that's actually a big way, is like making sure there's somewhat of a balance, and in a little bit of just rounding it out with ideas, like a certain amount that are bigger or smaller, or dealing like with, don't want to have too many that feel similar to each other. I don't know. There's so many. We leave with like a brainstorming period of time with so many ideas. It's very easy to write, like come up with the ideas for the show. It's harder to like perfect the scripts, but yeah.
Yeah, like I said, in this age of like, I guess, writers wanting to get like a bigger voice, how in your writers room, how do you make sure that everybody's kind of getting their part into an episode or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just love to sort of like escalate, sort of like things and be outrageous.
Right.
And we definitely always start, with these very, very collective brainstorms. And we also kind of collectively continue working on the episodes. There are like rounds of punch ups, that sort of like so many different people see, and, so many different voices kind of, get inside of, that we really make sure that kind of each episode is a collective, and, everybody's humor is sort of like funny in slightly different ways. so it's also great, to just making sure that like we're getting in a different mix of jokes, or someone might have a joke for an episode that like another person hadn't thought of. We just really try to be like open and always working on everything, and making sure that things are like as funny as they can possibly be, and not like stopping, like passing things around until they are as funny as they can be.
And there's really no bad ideas, which I think people like in the room. Like, it's like there's nothing like, oh, that wouldn't work. Anything kind of can work. Like a big one for me was like our baseball episode. I was like, we are not a show that's going to do a baseball episode. Like, nothing about Lissa's wearing our hat from this show, but we are not baseball people. I've only ever seen it one baseball game, like whatever. But there was enough people in the room that they were like really into it, and I love that episode. And figuring out how that could work for our show. But there are no like bad ideas. Like anything can kind of work.
I mean, just looking at your cast list, your directors, your producers, there was just no way you guys could have missed like out of with this show. I mean, I feel like you got a great team. Just everybody, is, like I said, veterans of the game. They know come in, and you could definitely see it, because I think coming into this, like I said, this wasn't like my normal cup of tea. If that I was like, okay, I got real into it real quick, and I couldn't put it down. Like soon as it hit Max, and I finished it in like a day. So it was really, really good. Talking about writers and no bad ideas. And what I mean, there's some stuff in this show that probably shouldn't have made it through. Where do you?
That's where Florida comes in, because Florida is a land of bad ideas. Fort Gator in particular.
I mean, what was that like? I think it was an episode in the first season where like the janitor's behind Annie mopping up like her like. I was just like, did they really put this in it? Okay. But yeah, just stuff like that. I mean, do you guys kind of have somebody that pops in and says, no, this is not going to make it?
We've had a couple things with standards. Occasionally there is like secretions do cause issues of, we had a few lines that had to go.
Boobs are always difficult. Like anytime you get any kind of, nipple or lactation adjacent, for whatever reason, that's often a hurdle.
Yeah. But, we are also TV-14. So that even also like, yes, we're TV-14. So, there is another layer of like sometimes what we can and can't do, but it rarely seems to cause an issue.
I mean, it is Adult Swim. So, I mean, they rarely, slap people on the wrists for doing certain things unless it is like legitimately an issue. Now I know last we talked about that merchandise. I see she's wearing the cadavers hat. Where are we at with that? Like where we?
Yeah, on our Instagram page, which is at Teenage Euthanasia. You can order some from Merch Central, and then there's also some on Adult Swim's Amazon store. If you search like cadavers or Teenage Euthanasia, you can find it.
A lot of that, like shirts and hats for the show and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm looking to get me a nice trophy plushie, or maybe give me a Baba like toy or something like that.
I mean, this is like our dream. I don't know. We're waiting. If the squishable people out there want to like come talk to us, we're ready to go.
We're so ready for the plushy versions of Baba's prehensile breasts to come into the world. Like the plushy crotch beetles. Like, come on, give us a call.
I'm sure somebody on Etsy is working on it right now. They're working on it right now. Now, I'm assuming where the show is right now, I'm not sure if you have like a roadmap of like where you want this to go, where you want this to touch, and potentially, like you said, now that we're going into potential third season territory, where do you want the stories to kind of touch? Like, where do you want it to go where you haven't gone already? Like, is there like a particular area like of things that you wanted to talk about this season that you got saved for the next?
Well, we've talked about a couple, but I think like a big one is we kind of want to know more about Trophy's backstory, sort of between when she abandoned Annie and committed suicide. That's like a big period that we weren't able to cover. We were actually hoping to do like some stuff that was more musical, because BB Newirth is such a great singer, and it'd be great to have like some kind of thing about with Baba and do some more musical, like more of a musical episode, or even just incorporating a little more music into the show. That's something. I mean, there's just like the ever increasing amount of characters in the town, and we're getting to know ones that have just been there peripherally is like, I don't know, endlessly interesting for me. We kind of want to have Annie have like a relationship, like an actual like boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever she has, like sort of like see that play out.
It seems like you don't want to give it to her at times. Like it's like you'll you'll lean into it and then like something will happen to the person she's interested in, and like it just never comes back around.
It doesn't, but I think we kind of want to see what happens if we let it. I think it would be fun to do that. But yes, we haven't been so far. We've been extra mean to Annie. But
yeah, and I mean, just like like the Florida madness of the show. Florida is just like, we want to see like how high can that freak flag fly, like what all can continue to sort of happen in the land.
I'm always like, it's I've never done animation, but to see like an idea like this like come to life and like see it grow, like beyond what you probably initially had it start at, I mean, like I said, the cast, the animation, because I was just telling somebody, I was like, man, you could definitely tell like the animation change, like not necessarily the change of animation, but from season 1 to season 2, I was like, oh, they got more money, because
it was actually like a huge glow up, that we can credit to Atomic Animation.
Yeah, we switched companies.
Yeah. Oh. Yes, and it does. It just looks like it got a makeover, yeah. It's just like, more beautiful, more sexy, to the eye. Yeah, they definitely, made it just like look more beautiful. Even when it's like disgusting and gross, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
We were talking about just things that most people probably wouldn't notice. So from season 1 to season 2, I'm sure that the two of you have probably hidden certain things like throughout the show, in the background, in the house. Is there anything that like the fans would like necessarily have not have noticed that you hid on the wall, or something somewhere that they wouldn't have like just looked at?
That's a really good question.
I mean, there's probably like so many things. And like for us, it's so long ago since we were actually working in the animation.
Right.
Because it's probably a year, but wow. I mean, because of how long every single thing takes. But I think like, I mean, I like to put in lots of PFR stuff, that's my band / art group / production company that made all the other shows with. So I like that kind of stuff. But I don't know, one I like a lot is the when on Phineas's book cover, it's the like it's I hate cars, but it's like dad crossed out capitalist. Just like, to me, like that someone just writing I hate my dad, but like kind of instinctively, it like that's just very near and dear to my heart. I worked really I kept having them redo that, so it probably sticks in my mind, where it like wasn't like, no, it has to be more clear, it has to be bigger, like whatever, right. All that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, we really big kind of like sign people on the show, like if you're ever sort of in a scene where there are signs and you pause it, we want it to be like funny if you paused it. We want to sort of like have these Easter egg jokes in where, maybe like you'll catch it the second time you watch it, or, if you press pause and sort of look and like read everything in the background. We really like to do a lot of jokes based on kind of like signage and products.
Yeah, I'm trying to think in the finale, there's like the billboards in the finale. It's like something about the Dr. Gazangas, like about like breast enhancement. I don't remember.
That's a Simpsons reference.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some other kind of one in that about Bibles, and I don't know. It's just I wish I could remember.
It's
but
a lot there. I gotta know.
there's a lot.
Well, look, ladies, I really appreciate you again. It's always a pleasure being able to do this. I'm glad I got to do it once, but twice I didn't think this is how my year was going to go.
Let's go for 3. Let's hope we get to see you again soon.
Season
Right,
3.
thanks so much.
Keep up the good work. Please keep this going. I love laughing. This show is hilarious. You guys are.
Thank you so much.
I'm spreading the word. I'm spreading the word.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for the interview.